Okay, all right. Everybody seated? Okay, let's go. Welcome, my friends of the press. Let me tell you, I love you, okay? I love you, and you too, and especially you. I love all journalists. You're great. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the state our media is in. It's a jungle out there. It's chaos. We should make media great again, like huge.
In The Running Man by Stephen King, there are entertaining aspects that result in the lack of human rights, lack of privacy for the lower class as the government controls on what they see and do as they participate in a game show. Stephen King was born in Maine on September 21st of 1947. As a young child, his parents split up, leaving him and his mother in Maine, where he spent a lot of his free time writing, which led him to write for his high school newspapers. Then in 1970, he attended the University of Maine to get his degree. He taught at a high school, writing short stories in his free time as well. Then in 1976, he got offered to write full-time, creating books like It and The Shining. Stephen King wrote The Running Man in 1981, which was then published in May of 1982.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
He must pay or play the running man.
On your mark.
I'll be back.
Go!
It's a game between life and death. He's playing for a prize. The prize is his life. The Running Man.
The Running Man is a dystopian world in 2025 where Richard joins a government-run show in order to pay for his daughter's medicine.
She could get better. Not like her in there. Pneumonia is no worse than a cold, but you have to have medicine and a doctor. That costs money. I went for the money the only way I could.
The Game Network's most popular and dangerous program. He is declared an enemy of state and is released 12 hours ahead to hide from the hitmen that are sent out to kill him. He earns $100 per hour to stay alive and avoid capture, an additional $100 for each law enforcement officer or hunter he kills. The grand prize is $1 billion if he survives for 30 days. The highest record was 8 days. Richard is allowed to travel anywhere in the world. Each day he must videotape 2 messages and mail them back to the studio for broadcasting. If he doesn't, they'll stop sending him money and he'll be eliminated from the show. Later on, he meets Bradley. Bradley knows that the air is severely polluted and that the city's poor have become a permanent underclass.
Somebody might hive a library card and find out lung cancer is up 700% since 2015.
Is that true, or are you making it up?
I read it in a book, man. They're killing us. The freebie is killing us. The freebie is killing us. Sometimes I think that I could blow the whole thing out of the water with 10 minutes talk time on the freebie. Tell them, show them.
This is 29-year-old Edward Snowden, the high school dropout who worked his way into the most secretive computers of the U.S. intelligence community as a defense contractor, and then blew open those secrets by leaking unprecedented details of top-secret government surveillance programs. Now, he risks never living in America as a free man again. Snowden didn't leak that, but in an interview with the British newspaper The Guardian, Snowden reveals himself as the source of several documents leaked to journalist Glenn Greenwald, outlining a massive effort by the National Security Agency to track cell phone calls and monitor email and internet traffic of virtually everyone. Snowden says he just wanted Americans to know what the government was doing.
Even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded.
And he wanted to be upfront that he was behind the leaks.
I'm just another guy who sits there day to day in the office, watches what's happening, and goes, this is something that's not our place to decide. The public needs to decide whether these programs and policies are right or wrong.
President Obama insists his administration is not spying on U.S. citizens, only looking for information on terrorists.
All of you watching this, Richard's image said slowly. Not the technicos, not the people in the penthouses. I don't mean you people in the developments and the ghettos are the cheap high-rises. You people without jobs, I want to tell you about a monstrous conspiracy to deprive you of the very breath in your...
We seem to have lost audio.
Bobby Thompson's voice came smoothly.
But we don't need to listen to any more of this murderer's radical raving to understand what we're dealing with, do we?
Richard tries to incorporate this information into his video messages, but he finds that the network dubs over his voice.
It's all downhill for Mystery Inc.
No! Hey, you're doing that thing again where you take everything I say out of context. You're trying to make it look like I think Coolsville sucks. No! Don't record that!
First clip faded into the second. In this one, Richards had asked the people watching to storm the libraries and find out the truth. He read off a list of books dealing with air pollution and water pollution that Bradley had given him. Fuck every one of you, his image said. The lips seemed to be moving around different words, but how many of the 100 million people watching would notice that?
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place. Or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of up dystopia. Thank you.
Phony videos that are popping up online. CBS 2's Natalie Dudridge has the story.
You may have seen this video circulating the internet, ostensibly of former President Obama delivering a speech that he never actually made. It's part of an online video trend called deepfake, and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
It's very concerning because as people get better with this software, they will be able to not just put celebrities, they will be able to put like their neighbor, in a video and compromising that person.
Behold, He-Man. The man would lie, cheat, kill. He had done all those things.
No, you know what? You're creating violence by your questions. You are creating you. And also, a lot of the reporters are creating violence by not writing the truth. The fake news is creating violence. And I'll tell you what, if the media would write correctly and write accurately and write fairly, you'd have a lot less violence in the country.
Later on, towards the end of the story, Richard carjacks a woman named Amelia and takes her as hostage. Alerting the media to his presence, he makes his way towards an airport. The police confront Richards at the airport, but he bluffs his way onto the plane past both the police and the hunter, pretending to be carrying an explosive charge powerful enough to destroy the entire airport. By this time, Richard has broken the Running Man survival record of 8 days and 5 hours. Killian and Hunter offers him the chance to replace as the head hunter for the show. Richard hesitates and takes the offer, worried that his family will become a target. But the hunter then informs him that his daughter and his wife have been murdered over 10 days earlier. Richard falls asleep and dreams of his murdered family and the gruesome crime scene. With nothing left to lose, he calls back the hunter and accepts the offer. He kills the flight crew and allows Amelia to jump off the plane with the parachute. He uses his last strength to take over the plane and fly right towards the skyscraper housing Game Network. The book ends with the plane crashing into the tower. In the last quote, it says, "And it rained fire 20 blocks away."
In 2018, sometimes you just don't know what is real and what is not.
We've got companies that take our data. We've got artificial intelligence, cookies, click farms, and frankly, a lot of them are crooks, like me.
But if you look carefully, something is beating all the fake and the hype, and that's quality. Quality. Quality is bigger than ever. People want it. Companies crave it. We need quality news brands filled with real journalists who get to the bottom of things now that everything is so easily manipulated. Because, in all honesty, I never said this.
I don't even know what a click farm is. Damn kids.
It's time for real media, real people, real results.